And video conferencing has become more comfortable these days as we are becoming norm of life, right? In a corporate life, we have to go with Zoom calls, WebEx, Teams, Skype, Google, whatever it is. So video calls become very normal. Nowadays, people are so active in the video. If we meet in person and talk to them, they are not so active because they become a video person these days. Anyway, we will talk about that, and also we talk about communication, which is a very important topic in project management, and also it's about exams we're going to talk here. And we do have a lot of sessions happening of different knowledge areas. Today we thought to pick up on communication with a few questions, and we'll move towards examination. So that's the high-level target here. Let me quickly see the names who are here. Vishal says, I can hear you. I can't able to hear. Karthikeyan, voice is not loud. Is it something wrong? You guys feeling my volume is low? Rahul says all good. Jay probably, and Karthik, can you please adjust yourself a little more? Right? Great, good. Loud and clear. Vishal confirms it. Okay. Please adjust your volume. It may be good. Just a roll call to see who all there. I have Sujit, Vishal, Puneet. Okay, good amount of new and old friends are coming up. Good to see your names. By your names, I can map your face a little bit. Good to see most of you there. Thanks for joining again, and we'll kickstart. So what we'll do is I'm going to share the screen. Before I'm sharing the screen, just want to take a call out here. Anybody is in the exam race for the month of June? Do you have anybody here who's, hey, Shriram, I have a few more days for the exams? Okay, let me see chat window. Okay, I'm not getting anybody. So I feel that nobody's going to exam in the month of June. So Sujit says August. Very good. Any more person here who were listening to me? Are you in the race of going for July? Yeah, Mahendra's July. Durga's August. Jay's August. End of July. Very good. And June. Del, can you please change your name so that will be easy. Ravi says August, Nidhi says June. Very good. Oh, Nidhi is there. Okay, Nidhi. June is the date coming up. Planning for August. Very good. Why I ask this date is I want to see whether you have a end goal in your mind. You should have a date. But some of them I'm seeing as only as a month. Probably mark the date also, because I always keep talking, set a proper goal and have a date, have a time. I'm sure you have it, but you don't want to share in the forum, maybe. Sujit says 22nd August, that's good. So we'll have this date and time and clear set target that will help us to move better. Now numbers are coming. Sujit says 22nd August, Mahendra 25th July, Jay says 10th August. Very good, very good. Thanks for sharing that very secret information. Thank you. Right. So now this date will drive you better. Now, before I talk to you about the communication management, a quick heads up, exam centers are opened. A lot of exams are happening in the center, right? But how many centers open? Not sure. You have to go search out and find and book your slot. And what it mean? Does it mean Shriram in India, abroad? No, any part of the world and the exam centers are opening. There are some red zone places where they're not opening. If not, it's opening. When I say it's opening, they are opening the centers for writing exams there, right? Okay, I think somebody's trying to speak, but the mic keeps coming up. Okay, good. Okay, one more information about the exam part. Online exams also going to be there. So you're going to have an exam center also online. So online is becoming a norm of life. PMI will not revoke PMP exam from online. It's going to continue. So, everything is good with online exams. I would say 80% good. 20% there are certain things happening. A couple of candidates had a problem. In a sense, application got closed. So what will happen? All my money gone? No, not at all. Money will be with you. But only thing is, exam date will get pushed to another date. I know the slightly frustration will be there, kind of disappointment will be there, I completely agree because we are totally ready for that. On the day of exam, when the application booted and it says, I could not, and it closed down, it gives frustration. I know the pain. I have few candidates who went to that trouble, right? Shriram, will it not happen in a center? In center also it can happen because the volume of taking exams has gone high. You know the demand for PMP is going crazy mad, and it's going to be crazy furthermore with Sunil Prashad as a CEO of PMI, as they're publicizing about a projectized economy, and they talk about project management in top fortune countries and fortune companies, and the demand is growing day by day. It's going to become a basics to have PMP, and many people taking exam after the lockdown released, and that also pushing hard. And a couple of times I heard from candidates when they are trying to take the exam, before the exam starts, application closed. So what will happen after that? We have to intimate to PMI and Pearson Group over the email, and they have to get back after reading the case. Could take some days of time. Is there any steps to do that? So far, there is no clear steps. So people are trying it out because it happens exceptionally cases. For one person, they were able to go to the exam maybe after 30, 40 question, application closed. So again, there was a problem. So it's happening. It's not about the online or a center. It can happen anywhere. So if it's a bad day, yes, it is a bad day. We can't do anything. Apart from that, many people are creating examinations. For example, yesterday, uh, Chetan, I believe, yeah, Chetan cleared the examination day before yesterday, and we have few more people writing the exam in coming days. So things are going as usual. One or two here and there cases are happening. That's for your information. Okay, well, good. Let me see. Good amount of people there. Let's kick start. I'm going to share the screen. When you share the screen, kindly tell me you're able to see the screen. So I'm bringing up a screen. You are able to see the screen now. Can someone say yes with your chat message? I have to see my chat bit below down here. Okay, Ram Kumar gives a big yes. Thanks, Ram. Okay, communication is one of the important backbone of project management. So people think that, hey, come on, Shriram, communication is part of my life, man. I talk all the time. You know what? My teachers used to say that I'm talkative. Okay, my spouse said that when you close your mouth. Okay, these are good to hear. We all feel great. Okay, okay, somebody's doing annotation. I have to close you guys, man. Okay, let me close some of your rights. Disable participant annotation. Sorry, I have to do that. I have to keep you most of in mute mode. Okay, now what happened is people feel that who talk a lot, they may be a great communicator. We are tell that no, it doesn't mean that. The message should be clear. The message should go to the right person. Just being talkative doesn't mean you're a great person, right? If that's the case, every news reader should become a leader of the organization or a country. I never see news reader as a lifelong news reader because they just see some information and talk about it. Nothing happening on your brain. But the person who can collect the information, process it properly, and communicate at the right time to the right person is considered as a best leader and best communicator. I'm sure most of you agree with me at this point. If that's a point for an individual, it goes same with the project. In the project, tons of data keep circulating. Now, how this data is getting collected, processed, and communicated within the project team and to the stakeholders. Of course, stakeholders, what is that? Please listen to some of the webinars which I shared already. What is stakeholders? But a quick call is stakeholder, anybody who's directly or indirectly involved in the project. Okay, Shriram, sounds good. But you know what? In projects, we have email communication, we have chats, we have face-to-face interactions. We do have formal documents. So I know this is all happening in the company. I don't think about it. I go there, get my salary, do my work, come back. Fine. If your organization is well structured, it's helping them to move forward, happy, nothing to worry. But if you feel that things are not going as you think, once in a week or twice in a month, you get some conflicts in your deliverables. The way you communicated is not understood. For example, you send a mail to your team asking for some data. They send some other data. Then you have to reply one more time. Hey, I was not asking A, I'm asking B. Oh, really? Again, they send some wrong data. Now you have to pick up the phone and tell that you can't understand my email. It says, give me the data of A. You're giving something on B. So it happens multiple times. Then you realize that something basically wrong. Either the way I send the information is wrong, or the person who interpreted the information is also wrong, right? So for this reason, in project management, they have a systematic approach towards communication management. How do you do that? Let's see a few factors. Before I go, do anybody feel that communication is very important in project? Anybody get a feel that, hey, you know what, communication is important? Okay, I'm seeing some chat messages. Very vital, backbone. Wow. Every knowledge areas we guys are saying backbone, man. We're saying cost management, fund is backbone. Stakeholder management is a backbone, right? Everything is important, right? Good. But communication makes us a human being, right? There is a big difference there. And we get a little different, or we get a little more ahead of other species in this world is communication, right? It is the connecting dots. We are the only species who can talk, who can smile, who can remember things, and again recall the information, right? This very interesting factor, only we got it. It is sometimes good, sometimes it's a curse, right? Certain things you don't want to remember, but still it's in your mind, right? Even now you recall certain things. Oh, shits, I don't want to, right? It's there, you can't do anything. We don't know whether the animals can remember it, but study says that no, they cannot. And long duration, they forget things. Beautiful things happens in communication. Let's understand. See, I've seen many people, at least you have seen many people in your life so far. Some people grown up only just because of effective communication, not just communication, effective communication. They know how to get the data, they know how to interpret the data, they know whom to place the data. I have seen personally in my corporate life, some people amazing communication. But one misconception here, somebody speaks a language really well and people think that they are a great people and great in communication. That's a mistake, right? It's not about the language, it's about the content, crisp and clear, straight on the line. That's very important. We call it as assertive communication. How you do that, right? So don't go just behind the language, because I have some people who speak language, but nothing will be inside. It will be empty box, right? With empty box, whatever language you have, nothing works out there. But again, language is important. The way you communicate, the vocal variety is important. But basically, content is important. So let's understand in project how this is being handled. When you look at this factor screen, this screen talks about what? Talks about 49 process sheet. I'm sure some of you know this sheet. Some of you seeing this for the first time. In PMP, we have something called 49 process sheet, which covers around 5 process groups, and it talks about 10 knowledge areas. Let me change the color. I don't like this color. It's so light. Let's go to red. Okay, so we have 5 process groups. What is the 5? Initiation to closing. And 10 knowledge areas. What we have? We have all the knowledges here, right? That covers here. Now, to do this work effectively, we have 49 processes. Well, good, great effects. Okay, Shriram, I don't want to learn all this stuff, man. Talk about communication. Okay, let's go. So we have something called communication, the knowledge area. Now, what we do in communication? We have to see how to plan the communication in the project. Very good. Hey, do we need to plan it? I thought it's part of life of a project. Of course, part of the project, but someone has to plan it, man. But don't think that every project we have to do that, because some organizations will do a very small project. Maybe it's only a 5 days of project. You may not need to plan from the scratch. Your company may have already a plan predefined how to do any project. Take it, use it. What is it called as? Templates. Go and reach your PMO, they will have the templates. But we're talking projects the bigger scale, or the big scale the project. How do you do that? A bridge construction, a dam, IT development for an foreign exchange system, or for a trading market, London trading market. You want to rewrite the whole software. It's a big process. You need a systematic communication plans, right? Then how do you manage the plan of communication? What do you mean? When you do the execution, that's a place where you work with the people. People interaction starts happening. What kind of people? Your team who works with you, the team who works with you and works with the customer, I have to manage the communication, and also you have to monitor it. I believe this PMP is so simple English words to understand. Plan it, manage it, and monitor it. Anybody can with English basic knowledge can understand this stuff. Okay, these are good, but how it happens in real life, how to understand it? Let's go towards it. So let me show a few factors. I'm going to throw some questions on you. I'm going to pull out some of your names. Tell that, can you understand this question? Okay, if anybody's scared, don't get scared. I'm going to help you there. Okay, here it comes. Project communication management. I just pulled out this paragraph from PMP books. I felt so interesting factor. See, if you read the factor here, it says that project communication includes process necessary to ensure that the information needs of a project and stakeholders are met. I like this line. The information for the project and the stakeholders. Oh, you're giving a life for the project? Yeah. Project is also having a life, right? Number of people involved into it, number of process involved into it. So something should be put as an input and then it will give an output. So you give some sort of communication to the project to make it move forward. And also stakeholders involved in the project. Who is a stakeholder? Anybody who is directly or indirectly involved. Shriram, I keep on saying the statement. Who is it, man? An architect is a stakeholder. Development team is a stakeholder. Yes. Construction employee is a stakeholder. A wall painting guy is a stakeholder. Right? A blueprint approving authority is a stakeholder. Your sponsor is a stakeholder. The customer who gives a requirement is a stakeholder. Can be directly, indirectly, whoever. Right? These are all called stakeholders. I'm just giving few names. There are a lot of names for the stakeholders. So let's understand two factors. I like these two factors here. If you put the red line there, if you look out, the first part is developing a strategy. Second part is implementing the strategy. Oh, very simple, man. Very simple. Yes, very simple. But for developing a strategy, first of all, we should have some thought process. For that, you should understand the stakeholders first. Without them, if you create a strategy, it's going to create some trouble because you cannot give some monopoly way of, hey, this is all you have to do. No, you have to talk to them. Hey, what way of communication is good for you? Is it a good way? Shall we do this way? And both agree on it. That's the strategy. And then implement as per the strategy. But when you implement it, there are some problems can happen. You have to overcome the problems. That's what the management all about, right? So don't think management will be so cakewalk. At the same time, it's not so tough. It's doable. Needs some skills. Sometimes I read the books of psychology. Whenever I read the books of psychology or when I read the books of project management, both look same for me, right? In fact, handling project is a kind of psychological factor of understanding people and the situation around, right? So don't think psychology is an astrology. Psychology is different, astrology is different, right? So we need some kind of understanding about the people around us before you decide something. You cannot be so much of autocratic, will not work. In this current world, will not work. We can see some countries are struggling these days, big countries. Some countries look like suddenly dominating, will diminish. Autocratic will not work. People may think that, oh my, this country suddenly coming up, dominating all over the world, look like, but people will give it back. Autocratic will not work. We should be along with the people. Put the hands on the shoulders of people and move along with the people. That will work now. If you do this 80 years back, possible. Now information is flowing all over the world. People are watching you. They can come back, right? That's very important. Okay, what are the things for this leaders to be in communication? I think somebody said a backbone. If you want to give a number for the backbone for the project communication, can someone tell me how many percentage of our time goes in communication as a leader or a manager? Can someone give me a thought? Uh-huh. 90%, 80%, very good. Approximately, yeah, almost 90%. Somebody, you can see the screen on the right side of yours. You will see effective communication. 90% of the time goes on communication. Oh my God, that much of time? Yeah, we spend in multiple ways. Don't think only talking. Multiple ways we spend time on communication. Okay, what I do is I'll just pull out some more information for you. Like, we're going to do something called plan communication. What do you do planning? You're going to work out, hey guys, how we want to work on communication. What all ways you want. Communication technology, yes, we have to work out. What method, what model. Okay, these are norms, Shriram. We do it day in, day out. If you feel that day in, day out, but still that is where the problem happens. I see sometimes the customer is not happy the way we communicate. Sometimes we are not happy with the customer are communicating with us. So we need a system in place. What technology we're going to use? That's vital. What kind of a model we use? Technology, I know this is specific to your industry. We cannot comment on that because if you are coming from IT industry, your brain always thinks that 15-inch screen, what you have, what you call it as a laptop, and you feel that is a world. But if you slightly come out of that and think of other domains in the world, laptop is not only life for the project manager. They have to go to the field, talk to the people, understand the problems, right? Multiple ways of communication are there. You have to know what technology fits them, what doesn't fit them. You have to understand that, right? And model of communication, how do you encode the message? You transmit to the people. The receiving party should receive it and decode it. Hey, what is this different, man? What I sent, they is going to receive it, right? That's a message. No. What I'm sending now, you will decode in a different format. For example, now I have a bunch of people listening to this video. When you are listening to me, I'm sure half of your brain is listening something else. Either you watch out your something around you, you look at your mobile, you check out how long the session will go, some other thing running in your mind. You would decode the message what I give in a different way. Absolutely. It's a little good. But if you don't understand, that's the problem of both of us. I didn't properly encode, you didn't properly decode, right? So communication goes by this way. When you understand it, you give back me the message. You say that, hey, yeah, I agree. Or you ask some questions to me. Or I ask you some questions, right? Like a few minutes back, you all put 90% time goes in communication. That's a way of acknowledging that you're observing the session. You are decoding it properly. That's a message here. Well, good. That's good about technology and model. Methods of communication. Hey, what is this methods, man? I thought method means something formal, informal. Can be. Formal, informal communication comes under methods, but above that layer, there is something called push mode, pull mode, and interactive mode. Ooh, sounds interesting. What is this push mode? People coming from background of publicizing message or sending to the people, you may understand that you are pushing the message. It's not a two-way, it's going to be one-way communication. You push it to their box that they can see that. And sometimes you have a message which you have to publish to a big group of people. Now, what do? You have to go through the next method, which is called as a pull mode. See, push mode is you know the people, you send to them. Okay, I know 10 people, I can call them and give them a message. That's good. That's a push mode. Now, pull mode, it's a big set of audience. Now, I cannot go knock the door of each one of them and tell them a message. Rather, we'll keep it in a common place and people can pull it, like your HR policy, like your government notice board on the roadside. HR policy, what we do? HR doesn't come and tell you every day, the leave policy has been changed. Regarding to pandemic data, you don't need to come to office till July, but keep checking the website. What it means? You can go and pull the data. You can read the data. It's a pull mode. On the roadside, when you drive the car, you see some board says, sorry for the inconvenience, bridge work is happening. It's a pull mode. You get the message out of it, right? So push and pull are very common we see in our life. Now, what is interactive? Now, what we are doing is called interactive. You look at me and I'm hearing you. In some time, I may also ask you to come on the camera. When you look at each other, talk to face, it's called interactive communication. And this sort of communication is considered the most effective communication in the world for the last 100 years, going forward also. In between 10 or 15 years, people felt that writing a letter, writing an email, phone calls will make it effective. Then they understood it is good, but not as effective as meeting the people face to face. So thanks to the technology and the camera in front of you, which makes it possible to make interactive communication smoothly. If you ask this topic 50 to 60 years back, I'm sure we can't see people each other, right? So it's going to be very hard. Now it's very common. We can do that. Punit, if you don't mind, you can go to cam off mode. I know you like the cam. We like to see you. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for that. So now, what happened is it's become very common in interactive communication. I'm seeing most of the client interactions these days we do face-to-face interaction. Some of the clients prefer that's the only way. Don't ever try something else. Do this way. That's what we like it. So it's very important. So we understood something called methods of communication. Just before this, we saw model of communication, and technology and communication. So where we do this, Shriram? I don't understand this. When you do the plan communication management, we draft the plan regarding or around this with a list of stakeholders what we have. We talk to them. Hey guys, what way of method of communication you like? This one, this one. You talk to them. It's like a buffet. You show the list of items. They choose it. You choose it and they choose it. You go a mutual way. And you will tell them, let's try it for 2 weeks. One sprint, one iteration, one release, one deliverable. Things are good. We'll extend it more. If not, we'll make adjustments. This is what they write a plan. It's not something concrete. You written something you cannot change. You have to change because we're living in a world of change driven. So PMI, PMP books talks about predictive and adaptive nature in the management where they insist certain points about agile thought process. If you go to every chapter of PMP books, 6th edition, you will see a page dedicated for agile thought process and trending systems in the market. That they say that you have to make changes according to the trends of the market. But whenever I meet leaders, I tell them that don't get driven away only by the technology. Think outside of this, right? Somebody who's not totally into the technology, can they get your message? That's very important. India is an ideal example of this situation. We even talk a lot about a lot of technology here, but still we have majority of the population who cannot reach that in the thought process, who cannot reach that by buying the products. We have a variety of people here. So if you can reach all the people in the right way, your communication system has improved a lot, right? So some people think that just buying one phone, the guy got all the technology in the life. No, that guy bought the phone to watch some videos. That's it. That's how their knowledge is. If you understand that, you become a good leader. If not, you start writing some feedbacks in Facebook and WhatsApp status. After it is becoming very common, right? Talking about people in the WhatsApp and Facebook. Okay, come here. I have a question. Let's see how this question can be attended. I have a bunch of people. Let me pull out one name and ask them to understand this question. Of course, everybody can answer, but let's go. Okay, I'm going to pull a name, Manoj. Manoj, don't punch me. Manoj, come back here and just take a look at this question. What is your understanding? You can speak up. Manoj, if you have a mic, you can speak up. Hey, what do you take about this question? I will listen to you so that we all listen to you. It's a good way of interpreting the questions. Interpretation of the question. Okay, chat window starts coming up. People started giving there. Okay, since Manoj is in silent mode, I will take Karthikeyan. Karthik, would you like to talk about this question? What comes to your mind when you read this question? Probably you have to unmute yourself when you speak. There is a mode called unmute. Please try that and speak up. Mm-hmm.
It is
okay.
Send an invoice to the client.
Karthi, I can't hear you well. Can you please a little louder?
This is the project manager has sent an invoice to his client. So this type of communication is formal written communication.
Is it me only not hearing you or everybody is not hearing him?
Voice is a bit low, sir. We are not able to hear Karthikeyan.
Sound is very
The line is a bit feeble, Shri, I guess. That's the reason.
Sir, it is B, sir. The answer is B, formal written communication.
Okay. No, answer we got it. I'm just going for the thought process. Anyway, thanks for giving the attempt there. What I'm trying to see is, before jumping to the question, okay, the project manager of a large publication project sends an invoice to his client. What communication type? How you all went to the answer B? What keyword in the question triggered you to go for B?
So basically, sir, he's a project manager of large publishing project. So now he's sending an invoice to his client, so to a customer. So it's a formal return. Usually, whenever we deal with clients, it has to be a formal communication. Since it is he's sending an invoice, so invoice is a written communication. So it's a formal return.
Cool. I like this. Thanks for that. By the way, who is it speaking here?
Jay, sir.
Jay. Okay. Thanks, Jay. Okay. Thanks for that. I like that point. The invoice, which is a formal document, right? So it's very evident that keyword here is invoice. Once you understand that, your answer is going to be smooth, right? Good. I appreciate it. Great. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Good answer there. Let me see the answers also here. What's coming up? You okay? Any communication can be used for legal purposes is considered formal return. When you say invoice, it's going to be a legal purpose. So the answer directly goes there. If you don't see that keyword, let's hide that keyword. How do you look into it? The project manager of a large publication project sends an document to his client. Instead of invoice, it becomes a document. Which communication type is he using? Still, it's going to be a formal written document, a formal written content, because the moment you say something document, it's going to be a legal content. The formal way of sending document is always advisable in a project management. Fantastic. I like the way picked up by Jay. Thanks a lot. Okay, I just pulling your names just to hear from you. What is your perspective? Rather, always I'm throwing my perspective, right? So be prepared with your mic. You can come up. Anyway, I missed Manoj and Karthik. Next time, we hear to them. Okay, there is something called managed communications. You made a plan. Now you have to manage your communications. Hey, plan is there. It will happen automatically, right? Why we should manage? But actually there is something to be managed, right? You cannot just like that say that, hey, it'll work automatically. We have to work out. How do you work out? For that purpose, we have something called managed communication as a process in project management, where we keep looking at things what we planned and we executed. This comes in the execution part of the communication. What we do here, we take time to understand what are we planned and we start implementing it. One of that area which I want to talk is called formal written communication, formal verbal, informal written, and there is something very interesting, non-verbal communication. I know the screen has a lot of information. Before I go there, can somebody speak about non-verbal communication? What is that? What is that? What comes to your mind as you see
Body
the word?
language.
Body language. Very good.
Tone or pitch.
Very good. Very good.
Facial expressions.
Okay.
Eye contact.
Gestures.
Right. Right, right. But tell me, in project management, why we need all this stuff? Agreement is signed, millions of dollars already signed. They're going to work on it. Why you guys are working too much on a non-verbal communication? It's not needed, right? It can be so formal.
Professionalism has to be maintained.
To gain the stakeholder commitment and develop the relation with stakeholder is important.
Right. Right.
It also shows our involvement, sir.
Trust and commitment.
Right, right, great. Somebody said it shows an involvement. I like that term, right? And now customers are looking at your face and understanding how involved you are into the work. Your tone will tell you, right, how you like it, or you are just like it telling it, right? Generally, spouse find it when they make a good dish at home. They'll ask you, hey, how the food is. Your tone will tell whether you like it or not. They'll easily find, hey, it's nice, good, yeah. No, it's not nice. I know that. So they can easily make out from your eyes the way you say, even though it's between two people, but there is some kind of body language and some kind of vocal variety or some kind of a paralingual communication is being addressed. When I talk about this, I want to give a little hint about it. When you're on the leadership track, it's not only customers. It's about your team. It's about your supervisors. It's about your set of stakeholders, internal and external, whom you have to meet day in, day out. Some of the project models, what we work, could be only with the 4 people every day. If you think that that's a world of project management, no. In project management, they meet hundreds of people on a weekly basis. But if you are from an IT company, you may know only the Ola driver, Uber driver, and the guy sitting next to you, and one coffee vendor. This is how your life will be. Or you will read a lot of Facebook, LinkedIn message content. Beyond that, your brain may not think. But if you go and see real world projects, what they do, they walk and talk to a number of people, board of directors, senior managers, stakeholders, right? Customers, shareholders, a lot of people be involved and interacting. How do you involve with them? How do you understand their needs, their expectations, right? There are certain needs that are implicit, certain things are explicit. If you see always explicit information, you'll be lost. You have to understand the implicit needs also. How do you know that? Just by body language, you can get a lot of information, right? Your body speaks what you want to say. Now, talking about that, there are a few things in communication came up from, by the way, there is a message. Quickly, I'll check it up and come back. This is a USP of project management. This is what attracts a lot, right, Ravi? Got it. Thanks a lot. So there is a research from Meherben. Marvin says that he's a good doctorate on this, who made a research on how we communicate. And what he found out is when we make a communication with the people, generally, he says that there is some percentage of things which we can divide the communication. By that, he's giving a clue that when we communicate, the message travel through words only by 7%. You can see the screen on the top right, blue color. Only 7% of the information goes by words. Shakes. Somebody is worried here. Somebody may be a dictionary great guy in this group who read all the English words or regional language words very perfectly. But still, your word communicates only 7% of the information. Oh my God, then what? Then what? 38% goes on tone and voice. We call it as paralingual communication. How do you raise a pitch, down, all going to happen. And rest, again, some percentage of 55% of your communication happens through what? Going to be on body language. If you don't, I'm not going to use it every day in life, man. Not needed. It's a message for you. You should know that this is very vital. Even you go to present something for a team, your body language says that how much involved you are. You can see some of the managers and leaders walking to the conference room. The way they walk, it tells how much passionate they are, right? Some people walk, why the hell I'm going there, right? That too, these days it is with the fashion of having a coffee cup with a deep tea, walking like this, huh? Like a zombie, they'll go to the meeting room. I've seen some great leaders who will be at least 2 to 3 minutes before the meeting. And the way and the speed they walk tells how passionate they are. There's on the way they walk, they tell hello and good morning to everybody on the way. Hey guys, how are you doing? What's up? What's up? Hey, 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 hey. They'll get inside, right? That's how they do. Usually I see some of the zombie people having a deep tea, walking like this and go and sit in the meeting. Ah, wow, they'll sit in the chair. That tells that you are done with the meeting, right? So maybe they may be even doing that body language, they may do a great output, not sure. But sometimes that gives a hint that can I continue with this guy or stop with this guy? For information, most of the interviews, first 30 to 40 seconds, the human brain decides whether to choose this person or not, right? 30 to 40 seconds, yes, that's it. 30 to 40 seconds, the way you came inside and sit in the chair will tell you, are you selected for the interview or not, right? Rest all adding up content for you. It's okay. So what do I do in 40 seconds? You can't do anything. The way you walk, the way you dress, the way you look, the way you speak, the way your eye contact is, you have to improve. Okay, that's about the communication, little on it. Of course, this is not a communication class, but just start off giving an idea. Communication is a very vital in project management, where we consider all these factors of formal, informal, and also the body language and non-verbal part. Well, good. When I talk about communication, of course, I spoke certain content, how we have to make it communication. Of course, I put certain images here to give a clue of it. A happy family always give a better feel when you have a face-to-face communication, right? On the bottom, you can see a picture. There are some family who communicate only through WhatsApp, right? I can see many. You can go to any hotel now. If you see, they go to the hotel with a happy mode, sit there on the table. Once they order, husband, wife, children, everybody take one mobile and they start doing their own activity. In the name of husband says, I'm at office work. This is a lady says, I'm at office work. Kid says, I want to play some game. End of day, all three in a different direction, right? This is very evident. You don't need to, for seeing this, you don't need to go to Sweden or Netherlands or America. Go to nearby any restaurant. You can see people are like that. So it's happening. Now, this is going to be a big problem going forward. They call it as a cyber psychology. A big problem coming up. Big tsunami is coming up. In next 5 to 6 years, you'll see a lot of zombies in the market, a lot of impacted people. They don't know what to do in their life. That kind of people going to happen. It's going to have a lot of neuro impacts. Now, coming back on this point, this happens in project management also, where I see when you go to project meetings, I see people coming with a laptop, sitting there, staring at the laptop, not observing the meeting. A meeting is meant to discuss certain points. If you're not interested, please don't go there or don't be there. They're telling that I'm taking notes here. Not needed. Take a paper, pencil, you can write the notes. That's more than enough, right? Or a common man put in the board. Okay, Shriram, this is what the points you said today, right? Let me wrap it up. So point 1, point 2, point 3. Hey guys, everybody got the point? So that's more than enough. No need of have an iMac, Mac, Meek, all laptop. Not needed at all. It's a very common stuff in the meeting, right? It's become a big problem. I'm seeing this happen in the corporate life. But that why it's needed here. In project management, it's very vital to understand the people's emotions, and they call it as empathy, understanding from their perspective what they mean. You can understand that only when you observe them through eyes. When you see a girl and boy proposing, the eye contact will be amazingly great. It will be 98.99%, right? So highest amount of eye contact. That after that, nothing happens there. After that, the eye contact starts dropping down, right? Eye contact is very important to understand what the person is trying to say. But this is lagging very much in corporates. And why I to tell this is, these days clients are preferring us to go on the video call where they want to see us on face to get a feel of what we think about it. And also when you listen to the customer, you get a feel of it, what they actually expect out of it. I remember most of our demonstration goes on video calls where they want to see what we actually communicate. That's very important. Good. Anybody face this kind of situation in your corporate or in your restaurants? You seen people? Yeah, it happens. Somebody's making a smile there. Okay, let's go. Talking about the communication, one more point in very important point talks about listening abilities. So listening is one of the important thing which is very vital in leadership track. Shriram, listening is important means you have to keep my ears always sharp. Not like that. Your way of observing the content should be neutral way of listening. You should not listen on your own perspective. What will be the benefit for me in this email? If you start reading that way, then it will be so hard to become a leader. I have seen many people who read the email to understand what is benefit for me in this email. Is this email appreciating me or somebody else? Always you look for the benefits or what to fight in this email. Email or verbal communication doesn't go well. Understand from the perspective of the guy who written the mail, on what circumstance they given this information, on what circumstance the person communicated this message. That's very vital. If you start understanding that, that is a time we get into called a persona to understand the customer's viewpoint. If not, you can understand. I've seen many mail fights happening. I'm sure more than me, you would have seen a lot of mail fights. Red color font, yellow color font, they fight like anything, right? End up in nothing would have been achieved. Rather they picked a phone, go and meet in person. Those both of them will be the same floor. That's a fun happens, right? If you fight 10,000 miles away the email, that is also not accepted because these days you have phone calls, video calls can be done. I have seen some people fighting from cabin A to cabin B. That too with the email, copying 1,000 people the CC. You'll be surprised why they're doing. They're trying to prove something to the world that they are in some sort of gap. They want to prove something. This concept of proving it's going to kill the society, going to kill the system, right? That's happening. Same thing happens if you go to LinkedIn or if you go to Facebook. Many people take some social problem and start writing to prove something on their side. They are doing something better, but actually not needed. If you keep doing the service, people will realize automatically it's going to be there. We're coming back on the listening ability on the project management. This goes very well in requirement gathering. In requirement gathering or understanding the people's expectations, I mean, customers' expectations, good amount of listening is needed. So how do you understand from their perspective? How do you look at the data? How do you understand the changes which customer is asking for? The customer can come in the middle of the project, ask for some process change or kind of a product change. You cannot tell that, no, it won't work. You can tell that if you are 50 years back, but now you cannot tell that. Customers expecting change every day. You are expecting change every day. You go to a hotel, you order something. After 10 minutes, you say that, no, 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 I don't like that. Can you give me this item? The hotel bearer says, it's okay, ma'am. Okay, sir, we'll bring it up. Because change is going to be there. But they may charge you, but you are happy to pay for the charges what you changed. But you want the best one, right? Since something you ordered, you will not eat it, even though it's not good. You will tell it's okay, man, I'll pay the money, but give me the best one. That's what the society is moving towards now. Now, when that's moving up, changes keep coming up. First of all, change would have happened because we have not listened well, or because our communication channel not properly organized, where the customer didn't communicate it properly. Could be either way. So good listening is always important, not only in the corporate life, in your personal life also. So listen well to your family. Right? This happened. I know this is easy to say, hard to do. You can know, you know in last 2 months how many fights you had because of not listening well, right? Okay, coming back on the subject here. Before I go to next subject, anybody here who felt because of not listening well, you or your colleagues had a fight with a customer? Maybe verbal or email. Do anybody have it? Let me get your thoughts. Maybe you can go on the mic. No need to type. Sujit says yes. Sujit, if you remember the situation, you no need to tell the company name. Just tell what kind of situation was that. Any one situation somebody can pull in. Let's listen to that. Give a shot. Give a try. On phone. Okay. So this is on the phone. Okay. So after the fight, is there any conclusion happened or it's ended up abruptly? Because most of the not listening cases will end up abruptly and it will create friction. It will become an issue log. Then gradually it will start creating a lot of big problems. Conflict starts happening. Okay, anyway, that's fine. Good, let's move. There is something called communication channels. It helps here. If you read the paragraph on the right side, this formula is used to calculate the number of communication channels, the number of stakeholders, right? Record for the number of stakeholders. Okay, it will give an indication of how complex a communication is. You're going to find some numbers here. This is going to help you understand how communication can be more complex with the number of people going higher. Shriram, what is this, man? Complex? I think we can copy everybody in the email, right? Why it should be complex? No. You should know the people's importance, their involvement in the project. Without that, just you're going to copy to everyone doesn't make sense. I don't see the director of the company or the portfolio manager of the company or the CEO of a company copy email to me in the CC or you in the CC. They don't put everybody in the company in the email, right? They write directly to that person. If anything is good, I even see that they are appreciating directly. Directly one mail will come to me. If Shriram does a good job, man, they may copy my immediate manager 1%. That's it. They don't want to show to the whole world because only learning that these guys become CEO. Only learning that they become a director of the company. But I see sometimes people who don't understand this copy the whole world in that email. Now, what's the problem? Sure, nothing wrong in it, right? People are going to ignore, they don't want it. Why it's going to be a problem? It can be because somebody wrongly interprets the information and they reply back to the whole world again in a wrong sense. Or a data goes to the wrong person. Or the right person don't receive the data. That's more dangerous. So we have to know whom to communicate, what to communicate. That's another vital factor. Okay, so we're talking about this communication channel. There's a formula for it. If you see here, you can see n into n minus 1 divided by 2. Let me put out that formula. Okay, keep a watch on this. This formula, n talks about number of people. Number of people. If in your project you have 4 people plus you, it's totally 5 people. So now 5 people, it will become like 5 people including me. What is the channel going to happen? 5 minus 1 divided by 2. So it's going to be what? 5 into 4 divided by 2. So channels can become 10, if I'm not wrong. I know I'm poor at mathematics, so could be 10. Yeah, that's answer. Now 10 channels of communication. So what it means, 10 channels means we have to use a 10 different technology. One is email, one is a phone call, one is a personal meet. That's a 10 way? Not at all. It's giving the complexity. When you have a 5 people, it can go permutation combination of 10 channels of communication. So what's the benefit out of it? The benefit is you understand the importance and complexity of communication. So what I'm going to do with this? With this, you write a proper communication channel plans to understand how to interact with the right people at the right time. You just give the importance to you, right? That's very important. I know these days you switch on the TV, you have some numbers running on the left side in every news channel. I don't think it's giving anything to you except giving a fear for you, right? The number gives fear for you. Oh my goodness, this many people dead in this world, right? Every day people are dying. More than 7 lakhs of people, 8 of people keep dying every day on their sleep. Nobody counts on that, right? if you understand at least 7.5 lakhs or 8 lakhs of people in the world, they sleep, they won't wake up tomorrow. It's every day, it's happening. I don't see no news channel put that. So it's some numbers will add some pressure to you. But here the number is not for pressure. The number is to give an idea. These many people are there. These many communications going to happen. Okay. Very good. Here is something put again to give a little more clarity on the channels of communication. If you watch out here, you have something called n into n minus 1. That is 2 people communicating. Very good. Here we have 3 and it does a different sort of communication until this looks good. When you go 4 people, it becomes a 6 channels of communication, right? So imagine there are 20 people. So can someone tell me 20 people, right? Team members plus 1 project manager plus 1 sponsor. Now, can someone tell me what's the channel of communication? So it will become 22, right, into 21 divided by 2. Can someone tell me the number quickly?
231, sir.
Sorry?
231.
231. You guys are so fast, man. I appreciate it. Tarun and everybody gave it right. Like 231 channels of communication. So what do you mean by 2 channels of communication? Oh my goodness, when you have 22 people, 231 channels of communication? Yes, it is. Now you can see your project, how many channels are going to be there. Your project will be 5 people, 10 people, 25, 50. I don't see anybody work more than 150 people in a project because there's a limit for it. But massive projects are there, but they have sub and supporting team. They call it a supporting team. They have more project managers with them. It won't be 1 project manager. But just for understanding purpose. Okay, I'm going to throw some question to you. There is a question here with the formula. Try it out and tell me. I'm going to pull a name here to tell me what you understand from the question because something given in the bracket. Whom I can pull out? Let me pull out one name here. Okay, let me pull Nidhi. Nidhi, if you can open your mic. So what do you read out of this question and you feel interesting? Which sentence you feel something interesting?
The question says there are 15 people on the project, including the project manager. So here I need not consider the project manager additional to the 15. So the total number of team members are 15. So it is asking me how many lines of communication there are. So the formula is n into n minus 1 divided by 2. So I'll take 15 into 14, which is 210 divided by 2 comes 105.
Fantastic, fantastic. This is amazing, a great one. I like the way you said, I no need to consider the project manager separately. That's very important. Many people miss this in the exam hall where they think that, okay, do I need to add this guy? For that reason, they give it very specifically, but it's a little straightforward question, but the line acts a value. Sometimes what will happen is they'll tell that 15 people in your team, and we have to make a communication channel, 15 people in your team. When they say in your team, it becomes 15 plus you, it will become 16, right? Here, they didn't mention that way. They mentioned the bracket, including the project manager. So it makes sense. Thanks, Nidhi, for coming up there and explaining it. Let me see the chat window, what's answer coming up. Oof, where's my chat window? 15 plus 1. Okay, that's Sujit, the last one. Okay, what's answer coming up? 105. Most of you went with that. Let me see everyone's answer here. I hope everybody made the answers. Give and try. Anybody new to PMP, you can also give a try with the formula. It's a very straight formula, right? Okay, with that, let me see the answer, what the book says. Okay, of course, the book says it's A. Okay, this is one just asking for if you know the formula. Good. So just to make an understanding of the formula, this question is, in exam, sometimes we get this question, but very simple question. If you understand, you can handle it. Right, good. Thanks a lot. Let's move. Now you have to monitor the communication. Okay, Shriram, that's good, man. You said planning, then you said managing. Well, good. When you plan and manage, it's going to work automatically, right? Why you need a monitor? Monitoring is to just check, are we going as per the plan? Hey, do we need to check it? Does it look like a micromanagement? It's not a micromanagement. It's about yourself, looking at yourself, what's happening, right? You check if yourself, is everything is going well? How do you check it out? You take a plan, you take the action item, what happened, and you compare, is both going well? How do you compare it? You take some data. What kind of data it is? Data, we call it as a work performance data. If you read the PMBOK books, or if you're following with me in the classes, you would have understood. I always keep the importance to one area, work performance data, WPD. And this comes out of from the execution of the project management, where always this data gives some clue how we are moving. And when the data being watched out, you will get, hey, am I moving the right way or wrong way? So Shriram, that's about deliverable, right? What it's going to do with the communication? Of course, your deliverable is outcome of better communication, isn't it? Or The data also talks about, am I giving a proper status report to my customer? Am I giving the KPIs to them? Am I communicating my regular work, what has been completed to the customer, or within my team, what I'm doing? So this all happens to monitor the communication. You have to check a look of it. But taking the look, what will happen? Outcome is going to be some changes. See, why we monitor? To see everything's going well. If all goes well, happy. If it doesn't go well, we have to raise a change request. What is a change request? A change request is a formal proposal. Proposal for what? You can propose for a process change or a product change, right? You can even change the baseline. But here we may not talk about baseline stuff, but we talk about some changes on the process, what we do. In fact, your customer likes face-to-face interaction, but your team is always going on the phone calls. I remember 4 or 5 years back, not 4 5, at least 6 7 years back, he always uses a Cisco speakerphone, right? It will be in the center like an airport. In China, they have an airport like a Cisco phone. It will be in the center, and we all join the bridge call. It will get inside, and we'll say we joined, and after which there will be some break in the voice, or sometimes only one person speaks, the rest all just sit there and watch it. This is how I see the communication. But often the customer don't like it. They say that, hey, we want to see you, man. You can also see us. So nowadays they're going on the, something called telepresence. At least for 5 6 years back it came in. Now was it's very prominent. Telepresence, big screen, or at least in your laptop, they want to see you, who you are, right? That's very vital. Or sometimes you give the customer the deliverable. They say that before a deliverable, we want a proper demonstration by the core team member rather than the marketing person or the salesperson. Now, these are certain changes on the communication which is expected from the customer, but we have to go for it. We cannot say no. So when I talk about the changes, I will pull out something on WPD in a minute. Before that, let's take one question to see how much we understood some concepts. Okay, let me pull out one person here, the lucky person, to talk about this question. Let me pull out Punit. Hey, Punit, if you're comfortable, can you go through this question and give a hint for us before we all answer? Give a try. Even if you make a mistake, that's okay. Kyle is a project manager of a project that has teams distributed in many different places. Very good. In order to make sure that they all get the right message, he needs to make sure that this project plan is translated into Spanish, Hindi, French, German. What is Kyle doing when he has his communication translated? What is he doing here? Okay, let me listen to Puneet. What is his interpretation of this information? Puneet, if you can open up your mic, you can speak. Okay, I don't think Puneet is coming up. You want to be silent mode. Let's leave Puneet. Let's go to Priya. Priya, what do you want to say about it? Yeah, Priya. What is your thought? You guys are in silent mode today? Okay, fine. Okay, let me go to the chat messages. Let me see some active people in the chat. So I'm seeing Ravi saying in different languages so that other team members can understand. Okay, that makes sense, right? Thanks for that. And let me go a little more up in the chat window. And yeah. Okay, decoding. Hey, somebody says decoding. Are we decoding here? See, look at the last but one sentence in the question, right? Last but one sentence question, I read it. In order to make sure that they all get the right message, okay, he needs to make sure that his project plan is translated. Underline the word translated and then into multiple languages, right? In order to make people to understand certain thing, you are doing some process. For example, I have some information about PMP here. I'm trying to put it in the language which you and me can understand really well. So what I'm doing here, am I decoding or am I encoding? Yep, that's right. That's right. Thanks, people. That's right. That's the right answer. So you say encoding, you're encoding the message to convey the details, right? That's good. Fantastic. Great. Good thought. But I feel some people are very silent. I don't know why. You're observing it from mobile. You don't want to
Shriram,
talk.
Shriram,
Yes,
I
sir.
have a question.
Yes, a little louder. Is something wrong with my speakers? I'm not hearing well. Yeah, please go ahead.
Last part of the statement says Kyle doing his he has communication translated. So when it gets translated, it doesn't it mean that it is going to a recipient and decode it?
He needs to make sure that his project plan is translated. His project plan is translated, not at the receiving point, right? It's at the sending point. Do you feel it as a receiving point?
I mean, I felt like when he has his communication translated. So my understanding was like after the message gets translated.
Oh,
That's
oh,
how I decided B option.
oh, okay, okay. But I'm getting a feel that it's going to be a translation to make sure we get the right data, right? I see, if you understand from this perspective, if you read the last but one sentence, in order to make sure that they all get the right message, the intention is make them to get the right message. That's the intention. For this intention, he is translating. If that's the case, I believe it's purely encoding. If
Okay.
that the first line is not properly given in order to make sure that they get the right message, then there is some mistake in the question editor. But this question says there is an intention is given, right? So based on the intention, the next sentence coming up. Hope you got that.
Shri, I copy with Jayant. I mean, to translate something, I was under the similar kind of impression that we or the project manager required to decode first. I mean,
Okay, okay. I'm not getting that point, and the last sentence I missed from you. But what I understand is the moment you see the word translator, you are getting a feel that I'm moving it from one form to another form. So it may be decoding, right? That's what you're getting. In communication, there is a factor like encode the message, you have to transmit it, and the receiving party will decode it in a way they want to understand. So now encoding is in a way you want to send, decoding is in a way they want to get it, right? That's the way. Now the question here looks out what Kyle is doing. They're asking what Kyle is doing when he has his communication translator. When he's translating, he's trying to make this information understandable from next point of other set of views. So he's trying to change the form of communication, which can be easily decoded by the next set of people, right? So that's how you have to look at this question.
copy,
Hope
Shri. Got it. Thank you.
you got that. Okay. I know communication is always interesting topic to talk. Right. Good. Chat window is coming up. Let me see. Keyword is project plan is translated. Ravi says that. Ravi says decoding. Okay. Very good. Great. Good questions. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming up. Now, I have put some factors about WPD, change request, and work performance information. These are part of PMP books. You go to any knowledge area, any area, you will see these three key flowing out. But for now, for your understanding purpose, read the line here for the work performance data. Work performance data contains data on the types and quantities of communication that have actually been distributed. I like the word actually, right? You have to look at the word actually because that tells how much we have communicated. So now, why we need this information? This information tells you that how much a team is communicating, how much a customer is receiving, how much customer is communicating. Hey, why we need to know this? We need to know this because you have to go back and check your plans. The plan says every Friday a status call should have happened. But what happened? The team missed it and they do every 2 weeks once. It doesn't have any trouble until there is a problem coming up in the deliverable. If there is a problem coming up, customers start digging in all the information. Hey, you know what? As per that agreement, you should have do every week some communication to us. But the team is doing only 2 weeks once, which is making a lot of lag in the way you understand and you deliver. Could be, right? So we watch out on these information, which can turn to a change request, which can turn to some of a new addition to the project also. So watching out the changes and also working out the information is important. So what is information? A data which you collected can turn into information. Oh, really? Will it do? Yes, it will. Whatever you got will give a status of where we are. Am I doing what need to be done? Or any action to be taken? So that becomes an information. So that talks about work performance data and information in communication. Okay, so what all we did? We did 3 items here. One, we talked about plan, and then we talked about manage, one we talked about monitor. Very good. Now let's see a question here. Now this time it's going to be straight question. I'm going to pull out another name now to give some idea. I know some of them are very silent and very calm people. I like it, but let's pull out somebody who can speak up for us. Okay, this time let's pull up Sujit or Tarun, whoever want to speak up. Can you tell what you're getting out of this question? Answers started coming up. Okay, let the answer keep coming up. Sujit or Tarun, who will come on the mic, can you tell about what you see this question? Oof, they're also silent mode. Okay. I don't know. Maybe Saturdays you feel that I don't want to speak. I'll keep quiet. Okay, Sujit, I understand. Some of them mobile are struggling. I know. Let me see. But only problem is Jay. Okay, Jay is coming up. Jay, you going to speak up?
Yes, sir. So
Yes.
basically, we are looking for an example of active listening. I mean, not an active listening. So, for example, if nodding or red in agreement while someone is talking, so that means we are in a connection with them. What they are talking, what we are understanding. The second point states that restating what has been said to be sure to understand it. So we are acknowledging. So we are summarizing and acknowledging. So that means that we have received the message. And third one says asking questions for clarification. So if you are able to listen, definitely we raise a question on our doubts. So these three are an active listening. So the last one, multitasking by checking your mail during a conversation. So it clearly states that not an active listening where we are not putting an active listening to it. So D is an answer to it.
Super. Thanks, Jay. I appreciate it. I think you explained really well than anybody can do. So you even mentioned that not an example, right? The question is again not. In PAP exams, you get this kind of word not except. So just to give a clue of that, out of 4, 3 may be right, 1 may be wrong. So we have to choose among that. So rightly said by Jay here. So A, B, C aligns well with active listening. It's very evident. The last sentence, multitasking, checking your email during conversation, is not an active listening. Unfortunately, this is what happening in 90% organization, 100% at home, right? You can see some of them, when the parents come and talk to them, you can see them with the mobile and looking at the parents. Yeah. Some of them do this with the kids also. Nowadays, kids are saying, Dad, can you put the mobile down and listen to me, right? So if you're doing that, we are not doing active listening. So that's a right choice chosen by the person. Thanks for that good explanation. I appreciate it. Good. It goes well there. Fantastic. I appreciate it. That's good answer. Great. I have 3 more questions now. Now, take a couple of minutes and let's go with the first one with the calculation. This question has a calculation for a formula. I believe some of you have the formula with you. Try out your formula and tell me what's coming up for you in the first one. I'm sure going to ask someone here to explain the first one once you complete that. Because first one is an interesting question. Answer coming up. First one is saying B. Okay. B is an answer. B comes D, 10 as answer. Okay. Now, some people are able to communicate, understand what is n into n minus 1, but others are able to give that. Okay, if Ajay, you are able to speak up and you are not on the mobile, can you just give a clue what you got out of the first question? Communication is the key for the success of a project. Okay. You had 3 stakeholders with whom you needed to communicate. Therefore, you had 6 channels of communication. The first is 2 sentences, just giving some state of what's happening. From actually third sentence, the question starts. A new stakeholder has been added with whom you also need to communicate. So somebody can tell me what is the n count here. Rather than telling the answers, can you come and tell me n? What is the n value here?
5.
5. N comes 5. Okay. Okay. Before coming to 5, what was the n value?
It was 4.
4 because as a project manager, you had 3. If you watch out this sentence, before, something as the project manager, you had 3, right? So when you say as a project manager, you had 3. If you say here as a project manager, you had 3. So it means they're telling that you had around 3 plus 1, around 4 people around you, right? And then if you see the next question, watch out, a new stakeholder has been added. So with 4, now one more has been added. Now they're asking for the communication. In exam, sometimes what will happen is we may not read this sentence and understand that as the project manager, you had 3. They may think that including the project manager, it's 3. If you start a communication like that, now here what will happen is instead of becoming 3, it will become 4. And you will strive for the answer, it won't work out. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, fine. Let's go to the next one. Okay, next one. Rather than picking the name, let me go for it because some of them feeling that either on the phone or they don't know how to speak. For the second question, what's the thought coming up? Can someone open up?
The tone of their voices along with their gestures, mannerisms. So it's to be a proven communication. So we opt as the answer D for the second one.
Okay, I think you're close to the answer perfectly, but tell me what is the keyword which hinted you in this question?
She should pay most attention to. Most attention.
What is the word you see in that question? There is a word for that in the question.
Arguing.
Arguing.
So one more stuff is
what
there.
is going and most attention to. What is going on?
No. If you watch it here,
words being spoken.
In addition
to words.
Yeah.
It is a keyword in the question. See, did we saw some Marin's research? 7% of our communication goes by words. The rest goes by what? Body language and paralingual communication. Now, this too is to be watched. That's what the ask is. If that's the case, what is being said and when doesn't solve that purpose? What is being said, who is saying it, doesn't solve the purpose. Physical mannerism look like body language. And when, during, this doesn't map. Something wrong in the statement here. So this doesn't map. The pitch mapping of their voice along with their gestures, and it's mapping. If you watch out here, pitch and gesture is the one which is mapping there. Okay, that's pretty good. Good answers. I appreciate it. Let's go to the third one. Third one, what's coming up? This time, some other person who can speak up. And what is your take on here? Anybody else?
Yes. So basically, project manager has a global team in different countries, and the project is very important to the company. So now the project manager is concerned about its success. So is not worried about the length of the project schedule, but the type of communication. So what type of communication should he use? So since it is his team, what I feel is he should have an informal verbal communications, because our communication says that initially informal verbal communication proves to be a right communication method in getting the things done correctly. And if things are not working out, then he has to move to a formal written communication.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Especially in the geographically distributed teams, this informal verbal communication plays very important role.
Yeah.
Initially.
Okay. Let me see the chat window also, because answers what you're saying may be differing. Okay, somebody in the group says that, hey, it's B, ma'am, it's not A. That makes it interesting. Durga says B. Okay. People going with the B. What's the thought there? You want to share it?
Shri, you taught us that the first way of communication has to be informal verbal communication. Then if required, we can jump to the formal one.
Okay.
I'll stick to that one. So I go for A.
You go for A. Okay, let's now go with the keywords in the question. Let's look at the keywords. Can someone tell me what's the keyword you see in the question? I got general concepts from everybody here.
Length of the project schedule is acceptable.
As Shriram, as the team is globally dispersed, so the same message should be go to everyone, like they can interpret in the same form. So it should be the formal written.
The keyword here is the project manager is concerned about its success. So if he's directly going on with the written communication, he will not have any other solution, and might team might not be motivated. So first we have to try a informal verbal, then we have to go for a formal written.
But at
Okay.
first, they should learn about the project, like the objectives and all. So that should be in the same form everybody should receive.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, let me give some thoughts here. When we say project team, don't think that it is the 4 or 5 people who are working in the project alone. I mean the reportees. No. When I say project team, it can be even sometimes sponsors. It can be the core engineers, SMEs. Project team means the whole set of people who are all interested in the project, right? So what happened is the way we have grown up, whenever I say project team, we know only Ramesh, Suresh, Ganesh who work with me. We may not think out of it, right? Now, coming back to the points of keywords. In the question, the manager has a project team consisting of people in 4 countries. When I say 4 countries, people are from different geographical locations. We should be a little more careful on what we communicate because the interpretation of information will change. We're a little cautious on that the moment they say that. Okay, even though that's not a keyword, let's go to the next one. The project is very important to the company. The moment you see very important, underline that. That's a keyword, right? And the project manager is concerned about the success. On top of the very important, success is highly considered. Okay. Now let's go to the last sentence, last but one. The length of the project schedule is acceptable. Okay, that's an added message, nothing more than that. What type of communication should he use? Now, when I say the term project team, which consists of a number of people, could be contractors, could be vendors, could be sponsor, could be your engineers working for you, SMEs, architects, all are there. These guys are from different people or different country. And the way you communicate should be a standard communication, right? Now, when you focus on the questions asked is what type you have to use. They are not asking, will this type will win you a project? Will you fail the project? That's not the question here. The question is, 4 people are from different regions and language, or could be a different people, and the success is very important. Now, what type you will use? Don't add extra commas with the question. Stay with the question. That will solve your answer. So if I'm in your place, if I see something called 4 countries and it's very important, then I would definitely go for formal written communication because that's the best way of keeping things in control when you have people dispersed all over the world. That's how if you see big companies, they share the digital signed documents, the digital sign or probably agree documents goes on, right? Let me pull out that. I think some of you would agree the moment you understand what is project team. Because first comment to what I got is, hey Shriram, project team is my team and I have to make them win. I agree. That part I completely agree. You are trying to do a good amount of interpersonal skills to make the project win. But the question is asking project team means it considers a bunch of people. And also it considers the sexes along different geographical location, right? So in that case, you should go formal return. Maybe you can read the justification. Because of the differences in culture and the distance between team members, formal written communication is needed. People who went with the A, do you agree? B can be answered. You agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, great. But I like that debate happened here, which made us to think, right? It allows us to think a little broader. Fantastic, good effort. I appreciate it. This kind of questions make us to think. Fantastic. So what are things we touched today? I know we should have a little extra, 20 minutes. So session, we covered power of communication, which is very important in project management. And we understood the communication models, right? Methods, model what, encode, transmit, decode. Methods, push mode, pull mode, interactive mode. Channels of communication, n into n minus 1 divided by 2 formula. Meeting management, active listening, work performance data and information, and something on change request. So these are some of the basic stuff in communication. In PMP, communication is the smallest chapter. People read it only 2 3 days before the exam. That much small it is, but that plays a big role in project management. When I started my learning with project management, I was so interested to read stakeholder management and communication management as my first 2 chapters. That changed my thinking process of project management. Of course, cost and schedule are important, But without these two guys, I don't think that works. So that's my way of viewing projects. I'm giving successful projects in the world. So it needs more of stakeholders and how to communicate. It's very vital. So start learning about communication. Don't stay with only PMBOK. Read on head first. Google it and understand what are the best things happen in the world to make a project successful. What are the trending factors happening in the project management and communication? Read about it, listen about it. That makes a better person, right? That's good there. And I think we covered a good amount of subject. Would like to see some of your faces. If you feel you can come on the cam, I'll be happy to see you because some faces I've not seen for nearly a few weeks, right? Okay, let's get there. Okay, Mahendra is here. Good to see Mahendra. Thanks for joining. Okay, some more faces coming. Jay is coming. Hey, Jay. Great. Good to see you. Raghu is there. Hey, Raghu. Raghu, you give a different look, man. Can't identify you. I mean, lockdown look. Ravi is here. Okay, good to see Ravi. Jared is here. Very good. Oh, Dell is you, Seema. God's sake, I can identify Dell. Okay, Kundu is here. Very good. Good, good, good. Fantastic. Fantastic. Thanks for coming on the camera. Thanks for looking very active. And fantastic. Most of you getting ready. Nidhi is getting ready for the exams in the June. Hey, Nidhi. Good to see. I think more than 6-7 months back, right? Maybe we met. Many faces I remember, some faces I don't remember because maybe we met in the class, we met in the online, right? Good it is. Good to see most of the faces. Thanks for coming up and start reading more and keep learning more. Don't stop yourself. Don't stop after getting certified because only after certified only you have to read a lot. Certification is only a part of your life. Many people think certificate, I'm certified, I became a doctor. Doctor does a lot of practice after getting a doctor certificate because they have to be a best out of it. So please read more, read more, read more. So what's the benefit out of it? Benefit is you get a self-satisfaction when you do your work. When you do your work, it'll have an amazing quality. After even 100 years, somebody will tell that, who the hell did this work, man? Wow, look at this bridge. Still it's working, right? Have you seen this kind of bridge dams? Brooklyn Bridge or any bridge in your country, your place, you'll feel, oh, who did this, man? Amazing. We don't know the name of the person, but the work stands there. Something like that should happen. When you do move away, people feel that that's a work. That's how it should be done. That's very vital. Good, fantastic. Thanks for being here. And good to see your questions and answers coming up. And let's connect another week with the exam thought process. I appreciate your time. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Shri. Thank you so much. You're doing great.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
keeping us engaged.
Good to see. Good to see.
Take care, Shri. Be safe.
Yes, Shri.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for the care. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.